Welcome to the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. We discuss 6 questions in 9 minutes because leaders know how to be concise. Let's get started with our guest today. Our first question, in a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, thanks for having me, Sean. My name is Damon Pistulka, and I come from Exit Your Way. And we help business owners grow their businesses to the size they want, make them run better so they actually can have the money and freedom that they probably envisioned when they got into business. And then when they're ready down the road, we help them sell their business.
Well, it's a very valuable service. You and I have talked a couple of times before, and it is very helpful to those companies and those owners looking to get to their exit strategy. So great service. Question number 2, what's the best thing about working with a team?
I really think it's the 1 + 1 = 3, right? Because you can't move a mountain with an individual, but you can move a mountain with a team of people if they work together. And when you see what individuals would look at something and go, there's no way I can do it. But when you put a team together and you have a leader that shows them that they can do it and they believe in what they can do, it's amazing what they can accomplish. I think that's the coolest thing.
I love that response, and you're absolutely right. There's a real synergy in that 1 + 1 = 3. I love that. Question number 3, I hear from other leaders of teams that it can be a challenge to get team members engaged. Tell us your thoughts.
Well, I think that's exactly right. And I say if you don't have the right people on the bus, we've all heard that before. I think that is where in the clients that I work with, and I think the majority of business owners, when they have problems with engagement, they probably should look at, do you have the right people on the bus? And then their leadership style too. I mean, it's a combination of both, but obviously if you just don't have somebody that is ever going to want to do what you're asking your team to do, that's a problem. You need to address it and compassionately, of course, you need to do that. And that's my thought on that. And the engagement though is really partly and a lot the leader. And a leader, to stand back and be a leader and just tell people what to do is never going to get you the results. Is if you can get out there and at least be a cheerleader and helping them give them the tools they need and help them to stay encouraged and optimistic about what they're doing, because that is the difference between good performance and great performance, really, is being able to get alongside of them and let them know with encouragement they can do it, get them the tools they need, and then just get out of their way.
Yeah, great comments. I completely agree. I really like everything that you said about getting to know the people and really helping to motivate them on the way that they need to be motivated. Just great comments all the way around. Thank you for sharing them.
Yeah, good stuff.
Question number 4, what other piece of advice do you have for leaders of teams?
Wow. I think two things. New leaders, don't be afraid to admit to your mistakes. I think when we're young and in leadership, we're like, oh man, I don't want to screw up. I need to look good to the team around me, and to ask questions, because you don't know everything. And certainly if you're leading a team, I've done a lot of manufacturing work, and the people that are running the equipment, man, they know what's going on. The team leaders don't usually. They may have known, but it's not necessarily. And if it's been a few years, they need to ask what's going on, because that will help them make a better decision. And then as you're making those decisions, if you make a bad decision, say, yeah, I did. You're right. We should reconsider this and rethink it, or make a completely different decision based on what we learned. But you're going to be wrong. Don't try to cover it. Don't lie to, just admit it and fix it and move forward.
Yep.
And if there's one thing for new leaders, and then existing leaders and longer term leaders, I think it's really important to make sure that you are yourself motivated and you are yourself invigorated and really ready to be leading people, because over time you get complacent. You gotta go, I've been doing this forever. Okay, well then what is new or what can you make new in your business or make new to you that gets you reinvigorated in your business? Because that excitement, that energy that you bring to it is often the difference between success and failure.
Great comments.
So
Yeah.
when you look at, and I'll be real brief with this.
Ryan, go ahead.
Look at sports teams. I've been able, I'm very fortunate. I've been in high level sports in baseball and all the way up in through the MLB. And there is a difference when you get at a certain level. Everyone is good, right? In sports, everyone's good. When you get into D1 college, everyone's pretty good. And then when you go to the NFL, everybody's really good. Or the MLB, everyone's really good. The ones that are exceptional are the ones that have the right mindset. They're the right, they get themselves right. But when you look at the coaches can't be bad leaders if they're motivating those people, because they are the people that are giving them that extra little bit of energy that makes the difference in how they perform on the field or in life, really.
Absolutely agree. There's a motivation you can pull out of people that will help them go that extra little step. I love how you describe that. I love that sports analogy. Yeah. Question number 5, what other successful leaders of teams would you like to recognize that have had a positive influence in your life?
Well, I've got a couple. You know, one of them is Bridget Brewer. She's I had the fortunate I was able to work with her many years ago, and she's a president here in the Seattle area at a company called National Industrial Concepts. I think she's one of the best leaders in manufacturing I've ever met, quite honestly. You know, she's helped the team there take that company from not nearly as big as it is to you know 6 facilities across or something like that across the United States, serving some of the biggest customers in the world. And it's just the leadership and the skill and the dedication to helping develop a team there is really, really exemplary. And so on that would be one. Another one, he's going to hate that I admit this, but a really good friend of mine, Eric Bloom. The guy has run other kinds of manufacturing companies, and most recently helped a owner, I mean, double, triple his company over the last 5 or 6 years, and then helped him through a sale to a private equity group. But that's not what I'm mentioning for. I said, this guy reads and absorbs leadership material like nobody I've really talked to, and applies it. You know, he'll read the Dale Carnegie book, and then he's thinking about how he's doing that when he's having conversations with people. And when you're talking with manufacturing people, often, you know, there's a different way of motivating some people compared to the technical people you work with, compared to the people in the office. That's a heck of a skill to have to master when you're doing that. And he's really good at it.
Well, thank you for recognizing both of those individuals. They sound like fascinating people. They've obviously had a positive influence on you and your career. So thank you so much for recognizing them. Yeah. Well, our last question, tell us about your first job.
Well, I can bet just about that you don't have anybody else.
Let's find out.
I grew up on a large farm in South Dakota, and my first job really was working there. But my first job outside of the farm, I worked at a feed store, and I delivered feed for a summer. And I would, you know, basically load the bags of feed into the back of a truck and unload them at the farmer's house and into their sheds, or I was the grinding up the feed guy and taking it out with the bulk truck and doing that kind of stuff. So that was my first job other than working on the farm.
So that was heavy manual labor then, if you're carrying all that heavy feed bag.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. I got really good at that.
I'll bet. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And Damon, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. How can people find you?
You know, it's pretty easy. Damon Pistulka. It's LinkedIn. I'm the only one with my name in the world. Nice. So it's pretty easy to find me. ExitYourWay.us. That's simple. But yeah, go ahead and hit me up on LinkedIn. And just, if you're not connected with me, send me a connection request. I'll message you back. We'll get it taken care of there. Or you can call me at 425-654-7757.
Very good. Thanks, Damon. This is Sean Richards with the Team Engagement Podcast, where leaders of teams share their insights. For more ideas, you can go to teamengagementpodcast.com. Again, that's teamengagementpodcast.com. And we also encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks so much for joining us today and have a great day.